Welcome to the channel. My name's Connor, aka Old Books, and this is the first video, hopefully the first of many, that I'll be uploading regularly right here on YouTube. I hope you'll come along for the ride as we dive into one of my favourite game franchises of all time, Battlefield. Today we're talking about Battlefield 6 and how it's managed to bring back the cinematic atmosphere that so many of us have been craving for so long. If you've played the games before, or have been around the community at all over the past few years, you've probably heard the phrase, "only in Battlefield." This term gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's probably easier just to show you. Battlefield is known for being not just an FPS game, not just a run-of-the-mill shooter, but a destructible sandbox environment where anything can, and frequently does, happen. The franchise has a storied history with some of the most impressive gaming moments taking the internet by storm, and some even becoming so iconic and popular that the developers themselves have taken notice and inspiration from them. One of the reasons that Battlefield's cinematic atmosphere is so iconic is because of its destruction. Every entry in the franchise has had some level of destructible environments, from Levolution in Battlefield 4 to fortifications in Battlefield 5 to blowing up the bridge on Sinai Desert in Battlefield 1. These massive, explosive sequences can have an incredible impact on a match. But what else makes for a cinematic experience? The destruction is important, especially when taken to this level. But there's more to it than just the visuals. The audio design plays a key role in helping to shape the atmosphere of the game, and in Battlefield 6 we've been treated to some of the most impressive sound design in gaming. From the jets flying overhead, swooping just above your head as your character runs across the battlefield, the explosions going off all around you, right down to the sound of that satisfying headshot. It all adds up to create a powerful experience. The chaos of combined arms warfare, land, air, and hopefully in the near future, sea, they all add up to make something which I think is more than just the sum of its parts. It's Battlefield. With that overview out of the way though, let's talk about some of the things that still need to be improved, particularly to keep that cinematic experience enjoyable for the players. First of all, talking about the audio, there have been several issues and bugs in the game, especially relating to footstep audio, directional sounds, and also vehicle sounds not being prioritized correctly in the mix, particularly in RedSec. Fortunately, the developers were not only aware of these issues, but had already begun working on a series of fixes, the first of which has now been rolled out as of yesterday, December 9th. The Winter Offensive update introduced a few of its own bugs to squash, like occasional stuttering, but aside from a few of the initial reports, I've been playing for several hours since the update went live, and it does seem to be mostly resolved. Next, the hit registration and netcode issues plaguing some players are also being worked on, and although it does sound like this may take several updates to resolve completely, it has improved already and appears to be well in hand. Now, hit registration has been a problem for players for a while, since launch pretty much, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry, it's easy to explain, and I'm sure you've experienced it yourself at some point. What this essentially means is that your shots don't hit their target when they should. This is different to bloom or weapon dispersion as it's sometimes known, which you've probably heard of. That's just the natural recoil of your weapon causing your shots to land in an uneven pattern unless the recoil is controlled. This is different. This is where your shots should be hitting their target and they're not registering correctly. As I said, it has already begun to be fixed, but it's an ongoing process, so we look forward to more progress on that. Next, I want to talk about map sizing. This is something of a hot button topic in the Battlefield community right now, and for good reason. If you cast your mind back to Battlefield 2042, there was a similar debate surrounding that game, but for the opposite reason. The general consensus at the time was that all of the maps were far too large, too open, with not enough cover. Now it seems Battlefield 6's maps are far too small. It's obviously a difficult balance to strike, and you can't please everyone. But I do think that maps like Eastwood, released in the most recent update, are certainly moving in the right direction. Bigger, more combined arms maps that allow for that all-out warfare experience are the perfect setting for Battlefield's signature moments, the kind of things that really make players sit back and say, whoa, that is what's cinematic. Hopefully the maps coming to the game in the future will continue to build on this in a positive way. As for the newest update, it adds a new time-limited ice lock version of the Manhattan map, featuring snow, cold mechanics which can affect your health, and a range of other content, including the ice climbing axe melee weapon that's going to be part of the new battle pass. That's one I'm very excited to get my hands on. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree. Do the maps need to be bigger? Do you want to see naval combat added to the game? Should shotguns be banned? Is it all just a skill issue? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm still new at this, so any comments, likes, and engagement go a long, long way. Please subscribe if you can. Thank you so much for watching, if you made it this far, and I'll see you next time. I'll now leave you with some cinematic footage I captured using no HUD on the new ice-locked Manhattan map that just released as part of the Winter Offensive update. I hope you enjoy. Thanks.